I got invited to join the Illuminati yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. Who knows? By next week, I could be a full-fledged member of the Illuminati.
Well, okay.
Or maybe I am already. You don't know.
Oh my God. I did not expect this. This is a crazy plot twist. I don't know if I want to be in a podcast with an Illuminati guy.
We'll be able to live the life we want.
Jake, you're such a wild card.
What, you never gotten an invitation?
Yeah, you'll get to live the life you want, and I'll just be your goonie, dude. I'll be the guy that trims your hedges and does your bidding. Last time we recorded remotely, I said I had a big surprise for you.
Yeah, I've been stoked about it. That's been what's keeping me going all week. No way.
I got legit.
Oh, man.
I got super legit.
What is it?
It is a new microphone. It's a Deity VO07.
Dang.
And I had the option between the table tripod or the full-on dork mode podcast arm. And I had a flashback to talking about how you don't like the podcast arms, and so I had to go with the podcast arm.
Man, well, I guess this is karma for me sneak attacking you with the real microphone when you were still on the phone.
Yep.
But honestly, dude, you owed it to the people after having a tiny tunnel microphone on a Chemex setup. I think
that was so embarrassing.
I think you were overdue for a real setup.
Well, I'd like to give a hearty thank you to Deity because I've been working on upgrading my old studio here, and I sent them an email, and they were happy to send it to me.
Oh,
so
sick.
I just I'm very grateful for it.
Oh,
and I want to
man.
give a proper shout out because hopefully the people out there will have a more enjoyable listening experience now that I have a good microphone that's not in a tiny tunnel.
Yeah. Well, let me just secondhand back them up because both Deity and Aperture are owned by the same people. I think they're basically the same, but they've always been so cool about just like supporting artists and stuff. Like they've sent me the light that I'm using right now, and they've sent me the mic that I'm recording on right now. And I've never really mentioned that, and they never really ask for anything in return. They're just a sick brand. So yeah, that's awesome.
So this podcast episode is unofficially sponsored by Deity because they're making it slightly bearable to listen to, hopefully. Except I'm sure there'll be something I'll do wrong where I'll still muck this up. So,
man, well, thanks for taking us one step closer to being real life podcasters. I don't hate the podcast arm, actually. I think they're sick in podcasts. I just don't like them. It doesn't matter why I don't like them. I don't like them in certain contexts, but in podcast context, big win.
Yeah. I just kind of was like, we're going to 100 episodes and that at least, and I'm just like, what can I do to make those 100 episodes feel the most dorky? It's like, I guess I'm going to go all in on this.
Yeah. Perfect. You going to fly around Europe with that arm?
No, I'm definitely gonna get a small tripod for
okay.
it. But for the home setup, we got the arm. And what's cool about this microphone over the Shure SM7B is this one has epic LED lights on the back.
No way! So you can stream Minecraft too.
Exactly.
Sick! Wow.
So Minecraft stream coming soon. I'm not going to do it now because I'll probably make it sound horrible, but these are programmable lights on the back here, and I'm definitely going to make it Navi blue for the podcast.
Gosh. Dude, before we even started recording, I gave myself a little pep talk. I was like, don't bring up Avatar. Don't say a thing about Avatar. And you had to throw it in there.
It's the glue that holds this podcast together. We'd have nothing to talk about if it wasn't for Avatar.
Yeah, no kidding.
We got some movie announcements this week.
Do we?
There was Yeah, there's the Moana. They just announced they're going to make a live action Moana.
Didn't that just come out? Didn't Moana just come out?
For real. I think it's one of those things where it's like way more time has passed than you realize. When did Moana come out? That's a good question. But it was certainly more recently than, I mean, like they remade like The Little Mermaid and Pinocchio, and that made sense because it was nostalgic. But I don't know if Moana has nostalgia level age yet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably just because time's flying by and it's been longer than I thought. But still, Moana is like newer than Frozen, right?
Yeah, 2016.
Did you just...
Frozen came out in 2013.
Did you just Google that?
No. Oh, no.
That's it, dude. I won the podcast today. You're disqualified.
No.
Yeah, I won.
Oh, no.
You threw it in the first period, man.
I got my sports shirt on today.
Hell yeah. Chalk one up for Jake.
No. What's the consequence? What do we do if what's the consequence? There's got to be a consequence.
There does have to be a consequence.
I have to tell one secret.
Yeah, truth or dare.
Oh, truth or dare. Okay.
Which one?
I'll do truth. That seems a little more podcast friendly.
Truth. Okay. I'm just going to make this real easy to cut out all of my silence in the edit while I think about this.
Okay.
This is more of a punishment for me than it is for you. Oh.
I do have a cough, by the way. So
Jeez.
don't make me laugh.
Yeah, cough. More like bubonic plague. That sounds insane.
I got it because I partied for 3 days straight this weekend.
Oh, man.
It was brutal.
Wow.
I went nonstop. Okay, give me a truth, and then maybe I'll tell you about my party.
Truth. Do you
Truth.
or do you not secretly love MGK?
I don't secretly love MGK. I think I've evolved into outwardly loving MGK.
Wow.
But it's weird because I feel like pop punk was so fun there for a little bit, and now I just don't really care about it anymore. Also,
Yeah,
so like in my pop punk phase, I went from like MGK is such a chode to like, oh no, his music's kind of fun. Like if you don't take it seriously, it's fun.
Yeah.
To now I'm kind of indifferent, but I don't hate the guy. I definitely don't. Well, I don't know about the guy, but I don't.
His music.
Yeah, the music is fun. The music is fun.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. I think I maybe slightly secretly am kind of a fan of MGK,
Nice.
but partially outwardly.
Yeah. I mean, that moment in time's kind of completely gone at this point, but I was just trying to think of the most embarrassing thing that I knew about you for the truth. And that was the best I could come up with. But yeah, at this point, I don't even know what he's doing. He's probably going to release a country record next. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, for real. I know Oliver Tree's already been there, done that.
Yeah. But
well, I won't Google anymore. I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry. I took us on a derail after you Googled Moana.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's
okay.
That seems so premature for a Moana remake. And I didn't see the Lion King remake. Little Mermaid remake's not out yet, is it?
No, I don't think so. The only one I've seen was the Mulan remake.
Oh, I didn't see that either. Was that good?
Waste of time.
Yeah,
no,
they
that's
all
the thing that's
sound
so
like
weird.
Disappointments.
That's the thing that's so weird is it just felt like there was so much more to the original Mulan. Like it almost felt like the movie was half as long. Like it was like the Spark Notes version of Mulan, but worse. It was really weird. And Mushu wasn't in it at all.
I was going to say, weren't they trying to make it really serious and like not a comedy at all?
Yeah, no, it did not land. And I don't know. I haven't seen any of them really either, but I did hear people talking about just sort of like kind of like remake fatigue, where at this point it's like everything is being remade. And if we learned anything from the Oscars this year, that's not going to be what really sticks with people. At least I hope that's the direction we're going in, because the remake thing just feels a little slimy to me. And I think to most people it does.
Yeah, totally. It's clearly just a money grabbing thing. Like, I was thinking about this earlier this week in how much does fear play a role in creativity? Because with this like sequel thing, it's obviously not or remake, sequels, whatever you want to call it. It's not like it's a creative venture or a creative leap at all. It's like, it's just money making. And I think it's because there is fear of creativity. People are afraid of the new ideas. So they're like, oh, Spider-Man makes money. Let's do Spider-Man. And that's why in the past we've talked about A24 and why it's so refreshing, because they take chances. They take chances on creativity, whereas so many other movies seem to be driven by fear and just trying to do whatever it takes to make a quick buck.
Oh, 100%. And I would not be surprised if part of what perpetuates that fear is the fact that streaming services like Netflix or whatever, anything that's original that's not an absolute smash hit just gets canceled. So...
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it can even be really good. But if it's not culturally like woven into the fabric of everything everyone is talking about, like Stranger Things or Severance, even though Severance isn't Netflix, it's like it all just gets canceled. So it's almost like the pros outweigh the cons, even if it's not what people want to watch, because it's safe. Like, The fact that they announced this Moana thing, they don't even have a trailer or anything. It was just a video of Dwayne The Rock Johnson at Hawaii looking like a dad saying, yeah, I think we're going to do the real one, thing. And then it's like everyone knows about it.
Whoa. Wait, so it's like actually happening though?
No, it's really happening. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man.
Yeah, there's a video, there's this goofy ass video of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in Hawaii just walking around with his kids like, Moana was a really good movie for me. It was a good time to make a movie and we're going to do it again. The same thing. 5 years later.
Was he the voice of Maui?
Of the big guy, yeah.
Yeah. So he was the voice of Maui and now he's just playing that guy.
Yes. Well, Maui was just an animated Dwayne The Rock Johnson anyway.
Yeah.
With hair.
That's insane. They're just literally redoing it with the same actors and everything.
I mean, at least Dwayne somehow snuck his way into making the same movie twice within the span of a decade.
Oh my gosh. Well,
it's kind of a bummer.
I mean,
I don't care what Dwayne The Rock Johnson does. I just want to see something. I don't know. I want to see him play a real rock. I want to see Dwayne The Rock Johnson in The Rock.
I think that's all he plays. I don't think it matters what movie he's in. He just is The Rock.
Real literal rock.
Oh.
I want to see 127 hours, but Dwayne plays The Rock. I was also thinking about remakes, and I was. Oh no, you go. What was that? What do you want to see?
Oh, I want to see an Indiana Jones remake where The Rock is the boulder that almost smashes Indiana.
I want to see Free Solo, but Alex Honnold just climbs Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I want to see Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the Earthbenders just throw Dwayne The Rock Johnson back and forth.
Oh my god. That'd be sick. That would be so tight. I was thinking about if you could have any movie remade, like if they're going to make a live action movie about anything, I want to see an extremely goofy movie remade.
Oh my God, yes, please.
A bunch of live action dogs on skateboards.
I want to see that just so I can see Goofy strapped to a skateboard with fireworks on it.
Yeah. For real. And then there's there's even a rock climbing scene in an extremely goofy movie, and we just have Dwayne sub in for that part.
Yeah. I was trying to think who would play Bradley Uppercrust the Third.
Oh, Timothy Chalamet.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy in Dune.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. He'd be perfect.
Yeah, he'd be great.
Yeah.
Who would play Goofy? Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. That would be a wild card Goofy.
You think? I think that's a pretty good casting. Maybe that or Steve Carell.
I would want Seth Rogen as Goofy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Who would be Max? Man, I wish the kids in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody were still young. It'd be perfect.
Oh, yeah, they would be perfect.
Dylan and or Cole Sprouse.
Man, I mean, at least in a world of terrible remakes, at least we have the Barbie movie to look forward to.
That movie looks actually so good.
It looks like one of those movies that's so absurd, it's good. And again, like we were talking last week about the cast in the Wes Anderson movie, the cast in the Barbie movie is unreal.
I know. Dude, I'm actually kind of excited to see what goes down. The rollout for that movie has been so like mysterious. I don't know if you watched the first trailer that was like 2001 Space Odyssey or whatever.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
It is very interesting. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my season pass.
He never misses a chance.
But yeah, like they did do a good job rolling it out, and it's like I don't actually want to see it. Like nothing in me is excited to see it.
Really? Margot Robbie's in it.
Okay, one part of me is excited to see it. No, I don't know. Let's just say when I know that Asteroid City and Beau is Afraid are coming out this summer, I'm less inclined to watch Barbie over those two. But that said, I feel like Barbie's still going to be a really good watch.
Yeah, I just think it looks. I was reading somewhere that supposedly it's supposed to have similar themes as the Truman Show. So when I read that, I was like, okay, well, that might be interesting then.
Sick. Yeah. So, nice.
We'll see how it goes. But I'm just bummed Dwayne The Rock Johnson isn't in any of these movies.
He would have been a great Barbie character.
Oh, yeah. He would have. Oh, well.
But yeah, like as I guess on that fear thing, do you see that for yourself in your creative work? Like it's easy to pick out, I think, in big businesses. It makes sense. There's a fear to take creative risks because you have to pay the bills. You have to appease the investors or whoever is around. But when it's just you, do you feel that affecting your art?
So the question would be, does fear affect art?
Does fear affect how you create things? Or just what role does fear play in your creative process? Sorry, that's a big one to put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just got to think about it because I don't want to just answer without thinking about it. There's different kinds of fear because there's fear that it really depends on the project because if the project is I'm making a video for a client or someone who's paying me to do something, then there's a lot more fear of like, I hope I do a good job in their eyes so that the price that I'm charging is justified. But then when it comes to my own stuff, like on my own YouTube channel or stuff I make just for the sake of it, I don't feel like I usually have much fear. I mostly am just excited to experiment. And if there's any fear, it's fear of like, oh, I hope this resonates with people or whatever. But that, to me, it's like if I make something that doesn't resonate with people, I'm like, oh, well, we'll get them next time. If I make something that I'm charging someone for and they really don't like it, then I'm like, oh, man, well, I suck and I should quit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It kind of depends, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, I I think it hits me most when it's my own stuff. I might kind of have the opposite take. Like when it's for a client, I feel more so just like I know what I'm getting into. I feel like I can deliver what they're asking for and I can just do my best. Like I feel less invested almost. But when it's, I guess my YouTube channel is just the best counter example. Like when it's my YouTube channel, fear plays way more of a role because I want to make things that I'm proud of, but I'm also trying to balance, appeasing just YouTube metrics and also like a corner of my brain is trying to factor in like hopefully making money off of it. So I think all of those factors are there, and just being afraid of how I'll be perceived or if what my thoughts are even coming across as I'm trying to explain them. But I guess what I'm getting at is the things that I'm most proud of happen when I let go of all of that and just get into my own world and make the thing I want to make versus taking into consideration all those external factors and letting the fear like kind of dictate what I'm trying to make.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And I guess I would agree with that. Again, it depends on the project though, because like right now I'm working on a video about my desk and all the new things I put on my desk. And there's very little fear associated with that of just like, okay, this will be an easy one to fill the space between when I can actually upload something cool. But, the video that I've been wanting to make forever and still just have no concept of how to wrap my head around is I want to make a video about religion and how like religion in 2023 basically. And that one scares me a lot. That one definitely scares me.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time I sort of even start to think about that video idea, I'm like, well, we'll hold that for a wiser time when I've learned a thing or two more. But I've been saying that for years now. And at some point I'm going to have to do it. So like, I think the things that I really care about are the big ideas. The ones that I really want to see through properly are scary, but also they're the ones I feel like the most worth trying.
That's true. Yeah.
And the most likely to fail too. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It hits you from both sides. It's like, you shouldn't let fear dictate the decisions you're making creatively, but at the same time, you're totally right. It's probably the idea you're most afraid of that you should most lean into, because that's probably going to have the most like emotion from you and most investment from you. Like there's probably a reason you're afraid of it. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Kind of a weird thing. Like, I wonder, sorry, I'm kind of sick still, but I wonder if Dwayne The Rock Johnson ever gets scared. I wonder if he's scared to be Maui again.
I don't think so, man. I think he's just
probably not. Immovable, omnipresent,
immovable boulder.
Yeah.
What are you sick from though? You said you were partying all weekend?
Oh yeah, so it was closing weekend of the ski area up here,
right.
And it started with going to a disco. Stayed up till 3 a.m, went skiing all day, stayed up till 2 a.m, went skiing again, and then stayed up till like 1 a.m. So just 3 days in a row of nonstop. And I don't even drink, dude.
Yeah.
I was just fully stone cold sober, just dancing my little heart out and skiing all day. And yeah, as it turns out, that's not super good for you. So I've had a cough for the last couple of days.
Oh, dang. I got invited to join the Illuminati yesterday.
You did?
Yeah.
Will you please tell me about that?
This guy on Instagram messages me, starts with a red triangle and then says Illuminati invitation. Based on the membership criterion of the Illuminati, we find you are of great interest in possession of a good mastery of manual dexterity and academic proficiency. With this, we look at you as the class that will be the platform for which you stand to meet the wealthy people who can raise you to wealth, power, fame, and glory. I strongly recommend that you join us in the Illuminati. Joining us, you will become wealthy and live the life you desire. Do you accept the offer?
How many followers does this guy have?
He has 19,000 followers, but he's private, so I haven't followed him back. And it's just so obvious to me that it's just going to lead to a scam. But
yeah,
I'm really going to try to take it really far. So I responded with some follow-up questions. Basically just said like, sounds interesting. What do members do? And then I said, is Joaquin Phoenix in the Illuminati? I've always wondered because I want to just see how many like side combos I could get this dude to have with me.
Oh my gosh. You got to follow up on this.
Yeah.
Has he replied to anything?
No, he hasn't replied yet, but I just responded to him today. I got the message yesterday, responded to him today. So
okay.
Who knows? By next week, I could be a full-fledged member of the Illuminati.
Okay.
Or maybe I am already. You don't know.
Oh my God. I did not expect this. This is a crazy plot twist. I don't know if I want to be in a podcast with an Illuminati guy.
Sure you do, dude. We'll be able to live the life we want.
Jake, you're such a wild card.
What, you never gotten an invitation?
Yeah, you'll get to live the life you want, and I'll just be your goonie, dude. I'll be the guy that trims your hedges and does your bidding.
You'll be the one I'm mind controlling with my Illuminati force behind me.
Yeah, that's not fair. Could you tell the guy to invite me?
I don't know, dude. You don't have the manual dexterity that I do.
What does that mean?
I don't know. His message just said, based on your manual dexterity and academic proficiency.
Have you ever heard anyone say manual dexterity? Does that mean like you're good at like...
He knows I'm good at fingerboarding.
I was going to say, is it like eye-hand coordination? Is that what it takes to get into the Illuminati?
Totally. You need a combination of eye-hand coordination and
a master's degree. Dude, that is really interesting. I am excited to hear more about the Illuminati. Man, it would be cool if he actually really started replying seriously. We could do a whole segment just based on the Illuminati.
I know. Seriously, at first, I just like rolled my eyes at first. Was like, oh, sick, good scam attempt. And then I was like, this could actually be fun. I'm going to follow up with this dude and see where this goes. So,
dude, the thing that's scary though is from here on out, I'm not going to know what's real and what's fiction. Because you could from here on be like, oh yeah, I totally blew off the Illuminati guy months ago. And then next thing you know, we're like on a plane and you're like being escorted on. And I'm like, what was that about? You're like, oh, nothing.
Things just start slowly, subtly changing from here on out.
Yeah, you're like all of a sudden you're always wearing dark sunglasses.
You see like random people handing me stuff off screen on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we'll walk into a restaurant and like everyone will leave. That happens in Europe to us anyway, though. That wouldn't be all that weird.
True.
They're just like, oh,
I think that's more so because we're a group of loud, obnoxious Americans.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's not a good example. Dang, crazy Illuminati Jake.
Yeah. Do you have any?
No, I don't join the Illuminati.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Do you have any?
I'm sure.
Favorite conspiracy theories?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I mean, if I'm being serious, I think my favorite conspiracy theory is that 9/11 was an inside job. I just think that, not because I want it to be true, obviously, but I think that's the one that makes my perception of reality the most shaky.
Wow.
Like if that's true, then it's just like,
yeah. Before you answered, I was going to say fun ones only, and then you had to go with one that involves just like thousands of deaths.
Well, like I said, it has nothing to do with 9/11 itself. It's more just the idea that all the structure that my life has been completely founded on is just this great big lie.
Yeah, that's a pretty Illuminati adjacent conspiracy theory.
It seems like it is, yeah.
The idea of this secret evil society, maybe not even evil society, just like a
If someone causes 9/11, it's evil. It's evil.
Oh yeah, no. I was talking about the
Illuminati.
Illuminati conspiracy.
Dude, you like evil society. Well, I mean, they're not evil. They're like,
yeah. Yes. Planning 9/11, definitely evil.
yeah.
Yeah. And those seem parallel.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. Fun favorite conspiracy.
Yeah. What's your favorite conspiracy?
I think mine is, so you obviously know the Mandela effect, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I think the best example would be like the Berenstain Bears.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Which blew my mind the first time I realized that Berenstain Bears is actually Berenstain Bears. And
yeah, that is crazy.
What are other examples? Darth Vader never says, "No, Luke, I am your father." Never says that. That's a Mandela effect. What are some good Mandela effects? I'm just trying to think of examples for the audience in case anyone doesn't know Mandela effect, but I'm sure you all know.
Yeah. There's that one where you think that Dwayne The Rock Johnson already played Maui in that movie Moana.
Yeah. Turns out he's just about to start Moana.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about, though. That is a weird one. There's one with cereal, too. Something weird with cereal, isn't there?
Oh.
Some Mandela cereal thing where it's like Cheerios is actually Cheerios or something.
Probably. Yeah, there's tons of them. But so my favorite conspiracy is that when the Mandela effect occurs, it's because you jumped multiverses. So like you used to live in a universe where it was Berenstain Bears, Stein, and then at some point something glitched or you walked through a portal or something and you just barely shifted dimensions into a separate multiverse where it's Berenstain or Cheerios were Cheerios.
Exactly. Also, the one I think the moon landing being faked is a pretty good one.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I almost land on the thing that I've heard someone say the most likely outcome to them is that we did land on the moon, but it was too much of a hassle to film it. So we did it, but then to prove it, we went back and faked it. Which to me is like almost like the most...
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to be in a stressful situation and have to film.
Yeah.
And it does not go... It is so easy for me
Buzz
to believe
Aldrin's
that...
up there just like...
Buzz Aldrin's like...
There is no way
I forgot
I'm
the
taking
vlog.
that camcorder with me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't remember if that was at the time where they would have been filming on digital or film. I think they're filming on film, weren't they?
Yeah, still film.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Whoa. Yeah. That's definitely a fun one because I would never say that we haven't been to space or the Earth is flat or anything because there's way too much science we rely on that requires the Earth to be globe-ish and for us to have gone to space. But you're right. I could totally see us just being like, oh no, we're not going to beat Russia. We got to just pretend we made it. And then
dude, I love the idea
make it.
He gets back and they check the camera and there's no footage on it. And they're just like, great.
Yeah. Or he just... Buzz Aldrin vlogged the whole thing, but he just accidentally exposed all of the film to
exactly.
To a light in the spaceship.
Yeah, exactly.
So the only part of it's faked is just that they had to refilm it.
Exactly. That's why it's like that's probably actually my favorite conspiracy theory because it's so funny, dude. The point where they get back safely and they're like, I also like the idea that Buzz is in charge.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, Buzz, hand over the camera. And Buzz is like, the camera? What camera? Oh, right. I have bad news about the camera. I left it in the glove box the whole flight.
In the real moon landing, Lance Armstrong took a step on the moon. He was like, "Oh, this is sick, boys. We made it." And then they're
Cheers,
flying
boys.
home, and he's like, "I got to think of something better than that." Guys, we got to refilm. We got to refilm. I do not like my first words.
We made it, boys. This is awesome. The moon is awesome. Fuck, we gotta redo that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's cool. I think we're going back to the moon next year, though. 2024, supposedly 4 people are going back.
So that we can have NFTs on the moon? Is it for that?
Yeah, I think it's mostly so that someone can do the first front flip on the moon, because I don't think anyone did a front flip.
Wait, why are we actually... Are we going back?
Yeah, well, there's a manned craft going back. I don't know if they're actually walking on it or if they're just orbiting, but yeah, 4 people.
Oh. But it's not...
I can't Google it or else I'll get outed for like
Yeah,
an
that's
MGK, but...
Wait, but I'm serious. Is this related to the NFT thing?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just...
Okay.
No, I think the only art on the moon is those beautiful 4 boys who are going to be up there.
Oh, okay. There's no girls? No girls on the moon?
Well, maybe, possibly. I can't remember.
Guess we're going to have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Sorry, ladies.
Dang. That's cool.
Has there been a woman on the moon? I don't know anything about how many people have been in the moon. I was talking about this with someone the other day. It's like, I know Buzz has been there. I know Lance has been there.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Don't know what the rest of the crew was on the first lunar mission. I don't know anyone.
Because did any other country end up going? I have no idea. China went, right? I don't remember. I don't know.
Man, I have zero idea.
Dang.
I wish I did, but I got no clue.
I do got a feeling that moon is for the boys up until this point, though. I do think that... I do think that the moon is like the ultimate, like freaking, it's the ultimate hostile, or whatever the word is for that. What is that called? It's, hold on, we're gonna edit this joke and it's gonna be hilarious. Domicile. The moon is like the ultimate domicile away from ghosts. Boys only, no girls. The moon.
What does that mean? It's just like the bachelor pad. It's the ultimate.
Oh, it's like the tree fort.
Oh.
Yeah, moon's for the boys.
Yeah.
And if I hang up on this call and I find out it's true that it's all guys going back to the moon, then my theory stands.
Yeah.
Moon is for the boys.
Then we're going to have to release a The Moon is for the Boys t-shirt.
Yep. That would be sick, dude.
What if you were landed on the moon? What's the
front flip?
Like that's the first thing you would do is front flip?
Maybe back flip. But yeah, one of those two.
One of those two.
What would you do? Like there's a better answer than back flip.
Sure there is.
Oh yeah?
I
Tell me.
would build a moon sand castle.
I'd backflip and land in it, and then I'd point and laugh at you. My stupid moon boot would be all that's left of your dumb moon castle.
I would build a moon castle, and I'd be able to claim that I built the first building on the moon.
Dude, I did the first stunt on the moon.
Cool, first stunt, sick. I'm working on building infrastructure and civilization.
I'm the first lunar stunt man.
You're just trying to get clout on the moon while I'm trying to build worlds for the future civilizations.
Dude, I don't think you heard me say I was the first lunar stunt man. Nice castle, dude.
It's a moon sand
I'm the evil
castle.
Knievel of space.
Oh, man.
Moon's Got Talent. I would win.
Moon's got talent.
That's also such a sick image where we get off the spaceship and you're on your hands and knees just like piling up a bunch of moon dust, and I'm in the background just like flipping all around. And you're like, stop it, dude. I'm trying to have infrastructure.
Yeah, I could see it.
Sandcastle. All right, Matt Damon.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about moons for the boys and how you can do front flips and make sandcastles.
Yeah. Of course.
I bet the sandcastle game is pretty bad up there, though, because there's no water, you know?
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
So, yeah.
I'll have to think about that one. I'll work on it.
I would put moon shoes on. You know, those like moon shoes, trampoline shoes.
Then you just blast off into outer space.
Exactly.
You'd already have to be careful with those backflips.
I don't know if careful's in my vocabulary. I'm a lunar stuntman, bro.
What's this about pants in the show notes?
I wanted to talk about pants.
Okay.
Here's what I want to talk about, okay? When I was a kid, I remember for whatever reason, the only pair of pants my parents would buy me when I was like young, like, I'm probably like 8 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Is they would always buy me a gray pair of sweatpants with the collar, like the ankle collar, like the tight ankle, like full on, like what you would imagine, like sweatpants.
Yeah.
Like the gray sweatpants, right?
Yeah.
So that was like the pair of pants I had for like until I was like 6 or 8 years old or something. Mm-hmm. And I remember one time we were driving downtown in Denver and I looked out the window and I saw a guy who I now know to have been a goth fella. So the goth fella had a large pair of black pants on. And I remember looking out the window and being like, those pants don't have collars around the ankles and they cover the shoes. And that's so cool, right?
Yeah.
So then I like begged my mom to have like a bigger pair of pants, right? So then mom submits to my desires and she gives me this like...
You never had jeans in addition to your
this is I'm telling you the origin of the no, not up until this point. But this so then this was my first pair of jeans. My parents buy me a pair of jeans.
After you saw goth pants, you got jeans.
Yes, yes. And they weren't as baggy as goth pants, but then that got into this whole thing where I just thought baggy pants were the coolest thing ever, right? That lasted for a long time, up until maybe my sophomore year of high school, at which point skinny jeans came along. And I remember thinking, skinny jeans are so stupid. I would never wear skinny jeans, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward like a year, everyone's got skinny jeans on. And I feel like skinny jeans, and maybe not only skinny jeans, but just like thinner pants, have pretty much dominated pants game set like from my sophomore year of high school. I'm out of college now. I've been out of college for 3 years now. And I feel like skinny jeans and just like normal thin-ish pants have just sort of dominated the game, right? Uh-huh. Now, I think baggy pants are coming back. Or have been.
They've been back
right.
Like
well, that's what I mean.
years.
That's what I mean. But there's I don't know. There's a difference I feel like between like it's no longer like they're very much like a social fabric thing now. Like everyone from all walks of life wear baggy pants, but they're not the same kind of baggy pants as they were in like the 90s. It's like a new kind of baggy pants, right? Mm-hmm. So my question is, where do we go from here?
I think we have reached. I'm forgetting the word. Wait for it.
Pantsmageddon.
Oh man. I don't need a repeat of Goodwill Hunting.
Pantspocalypse.
We have reached the fashion singularity. That's the word I was looking for. I think we've reached the point where all fashion is now acceptable at any time, and all that matters is your confidence level. Because now that we're so connected to the whole world at all times. There's just always people trying to do something new and different, and there's always people trying to keep up with the trend. So anymore, I don't think there's anywhere to go except every direction, everywhere, all the time.
Do you really think so though? Because I feel like you could agree with me in saying that baggy pants have fully made this like, because even in the era of skinny jeans, it's not like everyone wore skinny jeans, but it was like, it was the mass popular. And I just don't know if I see us going back to that dark place of skinny jeans.
No, I think you're right. I think fashion will always be endlessly cyclical. And I still stand by the fact that like confidence is everything. If you just are like confident in what you wear and stoked on what you wear, then it'll be applicable. But yeah, I think we're also just in this cycle where we're obviously going back to 90s fashion. Like, yeah, it's a little different, but for the most part, it's just, I mean, look at that jacket you're wearing. That's straight out of the 90s.
Dude, I made
and
this.
Your beanie. Both your beanie and your
all
jacket.
day I dream about Shaffer. This is my merch.
Dang, that's high quality merch. I gotta snag one of those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess the overall point I kind of wanted to land on, which I think is, I mean, you pretty much said it right away, is basically it just feels like there's no rules now. But why do I live in a world where I fear everything? Where I fear, what do people think of the way I look? What do people think of my videos? What do people think of, like, it feels like we live in a time now where you are truly allowed to be whoever you want and there is space for it. But I don't act like it, or I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like pants are this this cultural sounding, they're the canary in the coal mine, man.
Yeah. I mean, not to get all serious with it, but I think it's just because we hear too many opinions. Like we're obviously evolved to care about what other people think. We like, it's literally a survival instinct to care what people think, because you want to be a part of the gang. You want to be a part of the crew, make sure that you're looked out for. So you're going to care what people think. But when you can scroll through TikTok and get the opinions of 500 different people from very different parts of the world with very different backstories, and you try to value all of their opinions, you're going to be a disaster. And nothing you do will ever be right, because you're trying to factor in all of those opinions and figure out what's the right thing to wear, the right opinion to have. So
yeah, I guess I critique my own brain and saying, why do I interpret that as I could never please everyone, instead of interpreting that as I can be whoever I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what would it take for me to open up to the idea that the things that I like are allowed to be diverse? I'm allowed to do whatever I want, instead of being like, you know, YouTube is like such a good example of it. It's like, there's a really good video by the channel Folding Ideas about vlogging, and about how vlogging not only changed the way that like whatever like video blogs were done, because like it changed the sound of YouTube. Like YouTube has a specific sound. When you hear a video, like you can almost tell it's a YouTube video, because it has a cadence and it has a tone and it has a. And the question he was asking in this video is, what is YouTube going to sound like in 10 years? There is an undercurrent of having to succumb to whatever the popular opinion is, or whatever is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. Because like I said, you right now we live in a time where you can be and wear whoever you want, and yet baggy pants are in style.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just hard to, it's not easy to go a new way, or to, I mean, I don't know about I don't know how this applies in the baggy pants analogy, but in the YouTube analogy, making YouTube videos is already hard. So when you can at least find a format, or when you can find something to give a skeleton to what you're trying to make, it just takes such a burden off of you, I guess. So I don't know. It's really hard to just be something completely different. Does that make sense? Or is that tied to what you're saying?
But I feel like it's less about the pursuit of being different so much as it is the pursuit of doing exactly what you want to do. Because I feel like there's a difference between those things.
Yeah, maybe, except like you might not know exactly who you want to be. Like it's a very, at least for me, it's a pretty intangible idea as far as what I create. Like I want to make things that make people see the world differently and make them more grateful for their life. But I don't know exactly how that looks. So I try to find things to replicate or to model after.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like that's kind of an abstract. It's kind of abstract.
Yeah. It also sounds like a great question for a therapist. Like, I feel like this would be a really interesting thing to talk with a therapist about, is like, why am I capable of being whoever I want, and yet I feel like I have to fit into something specific?
I think it's less why do I feel like I have to fit into something specific, but why is there something specific to fit into in the first place? Because it's less about, I guess I'm more talking just like broadly of like currents, if that makes sense. Like there's a current of how to make a YouTube video. There's a current of what clothes to wear, but there's a freedom to do whatever you want.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying I do or don't follow the currents. It's just like, I don't understand like what drives it. I don't understand where it's going. I don't think anyone does or has any control of it, but it's just an observation of like, we live in a society.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we give ourselves, especially in America, we give ourselves way too much credit, thinking that we are independent, and we are just unique and on our own and self-sufficient and capable of doing everything by ourselves. I think we're fooling ourselves by thinking that, and we're far more connected to the entire world and you know, other people in general, like way more than we could ever imagine. So to me, it makes perfect sense that there's currents and there's kind of main ways that people tend to go and trends tend to go, because like none of us can do it on our own. Like we have to have this network of different humans contributing tiny little pieces of it to make this whole big machine work, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even down to the tools we use affect how we make things. Like the engineers at Adobe and at DaVinci or Blackmagic affect how videos get made and how the camera companies make the cameras, and like all of that, I think, comes into play of like where we take the finished art piece eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an interesting time we live in. And I know I sound kind of like I'm just like, whoa, dude, it sure is crazy. But it is crazy that we currently live in the most connected, uniform time ever. You know, we spend a lot of time in Europe, and like back in the old days in Europe, when you were in France, you're in freaking France, dude. Like France was France. And if you go to Spain, then you're in Spain. If you go to Australia or Austria, like you're in Austria, you know what I mean? When you're in Europe, it just feels like you can kind of go anywhere, do anything. The border is more of an idea or a switch in a language or even an accent, but it's all super connected. I mean, the EU is incredibly connected. Mm-hmm. And yet I feel like our individual mindset is more on ourselves than ever before.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have anything to say about any of this other than just like, I'm just kind of like taking a step back this week and being like, man, things are really, really, really complicated.
Yeah.
The idea that there are all of these things that are moving and swaying without your knowledge, but you're also swaying and moving with them. And you're also completely individualistic in a world where we're all more connected than ever. And it's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It is weird. And I think, I mean, it's just my opinion that like the more you like accept the fact that you are part of that like larger collective, the healthier your mindset will be. Even just, I don't know, down to the sense of like contentness at a job. Just for the, like, I don't know, the tiny example of being a barista at a coffee shop. You could go into that job and just be like, oh man, this sucks. All I do is pull an espresso lever all day and pour hot liquid into cups. This sucks. Or you could like change your perspective and just see that you get to bump shoulders with a ton of people throughout the day. You are making a bunch of people's day much better. This kind of feels like it's not the best example for the point I'm trying to convey. Maybe a better example would be like a guy pouring concrete in a city. Like, sure, if he's only focused on himself, it's not going to feel very significant, but it is really significant. It's like a super important thing that society at large really, really needs.
Do you think the videos you make, this sounds like I'm challenging or whatever, but it's just an honest question. Do you feel like the videos you make are similar to that concrete? It's something that people need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And I don't think there's really, I guess I would just say there's no sense in trying to parallel different types of jobs, because I think for whatever reason, we all have different abilities and strengths and interests, and thank goodness, because it takes all kinds for society to run. So, no, I certainly don't think my videos are like more important, less important. I just think my videos currently are something that I hope I can help a few people with, I can make a little money off of, and I can just hope that it's doing some type of something for this big machine we're a part of. But
yeah,
it doesn't matter because AI is just going to take over all of it anyway, and then we're all going to
exactly. That's true.
We're just going to become fuel to run the robots anyway, so it's not like this conversation matters.
I know. It's getting so wild out there with the AI thing right now. It truly is. Like, I'm just like, well, I got like a couple weeks of this left and then gotta figure something else out.
What would you do if you had to figure something else out? If like extreme scenario, AI takes away all digital jobs, what physical job are you going to do?
I'm going to make the world's baggiest pair of pants first because AI can't do that. And then I was thinking about this question earlier and I was like, oh, I know, that's easy. I'd write books. And then I was like, dude, if video gets taken away, I'm pretty sure books are probably the first stop on that freaking train track. Yeah. So then I had to rethink that. And gosh, dude, I think I would find something. I'd probably drop shipping.
Sick. That sounds really fulfilling.
Oh my gosh. No, I feel like barista is just my, I've had that job many times in my life, and I have never disliked it. I've always felt purpose in that job.
Nice.
Which I was happy to hear you talk about it earlier, because I was like, man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I felt so much purpose as a barista.
Yeah,
I feel
okay,
like I'm
good.
like the center of town. It's like,
Yeah.
this is where discussion happens. This is where relationships become deeper. This is where days get kicked off. This is a lot of times where days end. It's like,
good. I'm glad. Yeah.
It's an important thing.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you can relate to that, because it almost feels like a barometer for me of like, I don't know, just some of the most, it's so silly, but some of the most memorable days or some of the best days I have like hinge on interactions I have at coffee shops.
Yeah.
You know, just like whether or not someone recognizes you, or if you see people you know at a coffee shop, there's just something about it that like feels significant. So I'm glad
it's
that
true.
you
I mean,
relate.
It's like I say this and it sounds like I'm trying to make a flex, but I'm not trying to flex here. But like, I have a YouTube video that's close to 1 million views right now. And I feel like that video has said less or made a smaller impact than conversations I've had at a coffee shop. I feel like I've had conversations that have moved or been a part of conversations that have either moved me or other people involved in a deeper way than this, like, whatever, this arbitrarily big video, like, you know what I mean, did. Because it's just like, I don't know. That was kind of a stupid thing to say, actually.
No, it wasn't. No, I don't think that's a stupid thing to say. Half of my brain was trying to figure out a way to roast you for flexing your 1 million view video. but but I couldn't,
I've got one.
I couldn't think of a way to roast you because
I guess the better way to say it is, before I had that video, I thought that was like going to be really important to me.
Yeah.
And it is less important to me than things that happen every day at the coffee shop I go to every day.
Yeah.
Which sounds stupid and cliche, but it's really true.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to think of a joke to roast you with, but couldn't think of one because everything you said was just like spot on. That there's just so much value to that face-to-face interaction that, I mean, everyone's saying this and feeling this, but yeah, it's just like we're slowly losing that type of reaction. It's becoming increasingly rare. So the more we have it, the more we realize just how precious it is and impactful it is. So
yeah, and I think those things are going to become more and more, as much as I kind of hate to say it, I just think those types of things are going to kind of start to be more and more, whatever you want to call it, like sought after, popular, whatever. Because, you want to be a musician. It's like you can just type in whatever you want a song to sound like in the future and it pops out and there's no skill or craft involved. Skill and craft is always going to be a piece of, coffee, beer, wine, leather stuff, whatever. Like craftsmanship, I feel like is about to reach its golden age. And coffee is my favorite form of craftsmanship because it just is such a hub for people and conversations and all the cliche things that all the hipsters love to talk about. It just kind of is true. Like, I don't know. I would either be that or something in the outdoor industry. Like, I don't know, like a guide, maybe like a backcountry skiing guide or something like that. But kind of hard to imagine a life without videos for me. It's just kind of a lot of times what I feel like I was put on the planet to do.
Yeah.
But with this AI thing, I've had to think about that type of thing more often.
Yeah.
That I'm comfortable with.
I know. Totally. I went from like 2 years ago being like, oh, this is the most indestructible career ever, to now being like,
yeah,
I got to start working on some other stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Crazy times, brother. We'll look back on this and just, I don't know, we'll just laugh. We'll be like, man, I had no idea what was coming.
I know. Seriously. Yeah. Yep.
Dear Shaffer of the future, I hope you're doing good. How was the new Moana movie? Did AI take your job? What are you doing now? Are you and Jake still friends? Or did Jake move to the moon to be a moon architect?
Dear Jake of the future, I sure hope you've worked on your fingerboarding a lot because you're going to need to be a professional athlete in the future. So you don't have anything going for you in any sports other than fingerboarding. So I hope that worked out for you.
Dear Jake of the future,
I guess
I hope
I'd pour concrete.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I feel like that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Dear Jake of the future, I hope you and Shaffer are still friends. I hope you're okay with the fact that Shaffer got better than you at figure skateboarding. And I hope you finished sanding down the paint in your garage on the concrete floor that you've been working on for the last 3 years.
Dear Shaffer of the future, I hope that you are enjoying living in New York City with Jake right now. It's really cool that you decided to move there with him.
Professional fingerboarders. Living in a penthouse suite.
Oh, man. I felt particularly unhinged today. I don't even remember what we talked about, but
No, I got a little loose.
but
I'm so tired, dude.
yeah, I am
I'm
too.
sorry for all the times I sounded like a stoner going, it sure is crazy that there's... And I'm sorry for all the times I talked about Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
We should we should end every podcast apologizing, but then when we edit it, we just start with our apologies and then run the episode.
That's a pretty good idea, honestly.
Yeah. No,
What are you sorry for?
I'm sorry for also sounding like a stoner and talking about the collective nature of all things. And I'm sorry for not having more good moon jokes. And I'm sorry that I was doing taxes all week, so my brain has turned to mush and it thinks about nothing except 1099 NECs and W-2s.
Dang. Well, I forgive you.
Thanks.
I think
forgive
Team
you.
Benedict forgives you.
Team Benedicts, please accept my humblest apology.
I just came up with like literally the sickest name for Team Benedict, but I forgot it right when I thought of it.
Darn.
So, yeah.
Well, in the meantime, why don't you just leave us a quick review? I just realized this week how easy it is to leave reviews. I always thought you had to write something. You don't even have to write something. You just click 5 stars and then you move on with your life. Spotify, Apple, any of them. Just click the 5 stars, move on with your life. And then when you do that, just throw up a little
Shaka.
shaka. And we'll feel it.
The Shaka heard around the world. Yeah, and you can hit the like button if you want. I'd far prefer it if you left a comment, not because I'm going to reply to it, but just not because of the algorithm, but just because I like to read
Shaffer
it.
likes
it's just
reading.
fun. I like reading while I still can before AI force feeds me words. Comment while you still can, dude.
Comment while you can. I swear, we got to stop talking about AI. It bums me out every time.
I know. I feel like this is the same deal as like crypto in 2020 where you couldn't talk about it.
Avoid it. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, maybe we should make a pact. We'll do 3 weeks with no AI.
Yeah. I like it. No more AI.
No more AI. Deal.
Well,
Well,
you got anything else, Shafe?
no, I think I just really want to harp on the fact that I'm really sorry.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry too. I feel I feel really weird.
I do too.
Yeah. Well,
I felt like we were getting better for a while, and then things just kind of took a nosedive.
hey, that's okay. I heard there's some crazy solar flares this week, so I think that was affecting us.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
All right, let's finish sinking this ship.
Okay.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thanks for being here. Amen.
Amen.
If you don't like this music, you don't be listening to it. You know, I'm just a dude that you know, or something similar. If you don't keep it real, then you go somewhere but here. Cause you know, we're only losing control just for a minute. Oh.